Hey, you guys want to see a magic trick? Now you see it. Now you don't. My 5 top picks for dual sport bikes for the dirt and are road worthy. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it on the Rant and Ride.
What happened? I woke up in a big old pile of money. Hey, all you KTM guys, come on, I'm Team Warren. Don't think I'm coming down on the I, on the other hand, and you on the other hand, and a lot of people on the other hand. So why don't we have a 450? As a competitor, do a lot of bikes.
But here's my thinking.
Hey guys, Joe here, 690 ADV, 690 Garage. Found a little dirt road. Rant and Ride. Dual sport bikes. Dual sport bikes. My 5 favorite top dual sport bikes that are made for the dirt, that are good on the road. Not only that, they're also lightweight somewhat. So let's get into it and let's talk about it. And I'm going to count them down starting at 5 all the way down to number 1. And as we're talking about these, we're talking lightweight dual sport bikes that are made for the dirt. Keyword dirt. But you can get on the highway and punch those miles. Let's say you got to do 200 miles. That's the bike I'm talking about. That's the bike we're talking about today. We'll start with number 5. I almost said 1. What a dork. Number 5. Number 5. Counting down. My favorite bike, and it really only makes in the 250 class. I'm going to start at 250 and I'm going to work my way upwards to the number 1 spot in my heart of what I feel is the best and that I know about. So, there's only one 250 that makes it, and I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh man, Joe, 690. We know you got a CRF 250L. We know that one's going in there. Nope, it's not. That is not the bike I'm going to pick. The only one that makes the 250 category that I know of, and that's CRF 250L. Great motorcycle. I really do like it. Fuel injected, 6-speed, great bike. But it doesn't make it. My 254, dirt, light, and you can pack it up and you can get on down the road like you're seeing right here. And I'm talking highway. I'm not talking, oh yeah, country road. That's what we're talking about. You got to get on the highway and you got to get some miles. I'm going to mean miles. I don't mean, 10 miles. I'm talking punch out 200 in a day. The WR250R from Yamaha. I love that bike, man. I talk about it quite a bit, and it's such a fabulous bike. It's the only one that really gets it, and the reason that gets it is because it is fuel injected. It's built on the YZ platform. It's light enough. It's got really plenty of power in the 250 classification. And it's got tons of farkles, man. You can outfit that thing. Rocky Mountain did crazy stuff on that bike, and it's just a really good bike. Tons of farkles. It's got just enough power. It's got plenty of travel. It's got a 21/18 tire size. And you can outfit that bike really, really nice. And you can really turn that into a dirt adventure bike. You actually can. All these bikes I'm going to mention, you can turn them into an adventure type bike. Now, what we're not, and I don't want people getting butt hurt because and if you do get butt hurt, well, I'm sorry, because there are bikes that are not going to make it, and they're going to go, well, 690, Joe, my bike is really great, and I've done it. Well, these are bikes that I've actually seen on my 40 to 50,000 plus miles, not riding around ranting. I'm talking about riding on adventure trips, actually going out and camping, packing all my gear, and not staying in hotels. It doesn't matter if it snows or rains. I'm talking bikes that you can pack. That WR250R, you can do it. You can pack it up. You can put stuff on there. They make racks, panniers. You can get giant loop, Wolfman luggage. You can totally do it. What a fabulous bike. If you are a new rider or just getting into dual sport and looking for a bike, definitely that's one you want to be looking at. They're not cheap. They're hard to find used, but they are a great and they're a fabulous bike, and they're bulletproof. They have great intervals, and you can just beat them up. So that being said, WR250R is my number five spot. Jumping down to number 4. Number 4 is going to be, there's only one. Now, you saw my video last week where we talked about the CRF 450L. You know what? We don't know anything about that bike, and I don't build on spec. I build on actual real-world knowledge and stuff that's out there. Suzuki totally crushes that. That's going to be the DRZ 400. And I know there's a lot of DRZ boys out there that are like, heck yeah, man, that bike, I love that bike. Love it. Well, that's the next step up. It's not fuel injected, I'm sorry. It is carburetor driven, but it is bulletproof, man. And that bike is just fabulous. And it does really good on the highway if you put the right tire. I'm not a fan of the tire selection because it's a 21 17-inch tire, but it has decent travel. And it's pretty comfortable. Lots of aftermarket parts, lots of Farkles, as everyone likes to say. And that bike, you can outfit it and make it just as gnarly cool as you want to, and it'll go anywhere. It'll go basically anywhere. And you can punch those miles down. Everride has one, and he calls it the Black Widow. And it's so cool, man, because he's got it all decked out in his own way, and he makes a lot of his parts. So very cool, man. Check out his stuff. I'm sure you've seen Everride, but if you haven't and you're new to dual sport, check him out. DRZ 400. You can find them. A lot of guys are proud of them. They're usually a little overpriced for what they are, but you know, at the end of the day, they're pretty bulletproof, and they're a very proven bike. And guys love them. They just love them. You do see them. And I'm talking out in the wild. And when I mean in the wild, I'm talking like New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Montana, all those areas there. That's where the dual sport guys are going. And you see them a lot in Colorado and in Utah. Great. That bike there, they're not too expensive. You can pick them up new. I think they're like $6,000 and change. They're not too bad. I didn't say the WR. The WR is going to be around $7,000 and change if you want to go buy it new. Number 3. Number 3, we're jumping into the roughly 650 category. I've only got 2, and that's going to basically take the number 3 and the number 4 spot. And the reason being is because they're totally 2 different bikes. And I don't care what anyone says. They're completely different bikes. They're completely different. Let's start off with the KLR 650. Passion, love. That bike, I just flat love it. I've owned 2 of them. I've regretted selling both of them. And I don't have one in my garage. And I've always contemplated getting another one. I've got some subscribers that have KLRs, and I get to see their mods and all the things that they do, and man, you can really make those things look so cool. And there's tons of mods for them, so you can get all sorts of stuff, and you can kind of uncork that bike. It's not ever going to be a speed demon, but it does everything. It just doesn't do it great, but it does everything. They call her the pig, and the reason she's a pig is because she's got that gigantic tank on top. She's a 6+ gallon, fuel capacity, but she's actually pretty good on the highway. She doesn't really go super fast. She feels like she's going to blow up around 70 to 75 miles an hour. But she will do it. And she can do it for a long time. Long time. Very easy maintenance on that bike. DRZ, the exact same thing on that 400. But the KLR, man, you see them everywhere, man. And I mean everywhere. They're in all states. They're everywhere. You got guys that just absolutely swear by them, and they love them. And if you've never owned one, you should get one. You really should. You really should get one, because you can usually pick them up cheap. You can fix them up. You can make them, whatever you want. You can paint them. You can make them look military. You can camo them, go jet black and murder them out. You can do all that stuff. And they're real cool. And they're super easy to work on. Carburetor driven. They are a 5-speed. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the 2117. It works, okay? It's much better than a 1917 or a 1916 or, or a 1717 like you see on the Versus 650. But I don't even want to get into that crap. We're talking about dirt, baby. Dirt. So, it's got a basically 21 front, a 17 rear. It's a tractor. She doesn't have tons of power. It's pretty controllable. It's almost underpowered. But, you know, as long as you are thinking ahead, she does great off-road. She really does. And on the highway, she does really, really good. We have a guy that he's been riding a KLR forever, and he just will not switch. He's got basically a 2001. He painted it basically military tan, and he just loves her. And she goes everywhere. She's never left him stranded, ever. So the KLR 650, great bike. It will do both. Dirt, it'll go down the trails, and she will do the highway. But she is a pig. She's probably the heaviest of all the bikes that I just talked about, but I couldn't leave her out because she's the classic. She's the classic, and everybody has got some kind of love for a KLR. They just have some love for a KLR. Now, the next bike that you can outfit, number 2, is your DR 650. And your DR guys, these guys are dedicated, man. They're dedicated. They love their bikes, and you see them all over Colorado. You'll see those DR 650s, you'll see the 400s, and they love them. And everybody's like, well, why would you use the DR 650? It's just like the KLR. Well, guess what? No, it's not. It's a whole heck of a lot lighter. And not only that, it is a gigantic real dirt bike. It's very similar to the XR. So all you XR guys, it did not make the list. So I'm going to make that very apparent, you Honda guys. It's big. It's not very comfortable on the highway. I don't really care what you do to it. And I know you're going to say, oh, well, mine is. Well, great. The DR, in my opinion, is a better bike. It's more proven, and it is just straight up bulletproof. So back to that, it's a 21-inch front, 17-inch rear. It's got great travel. It comes with a skimpy tank, but it is better than the XR. But you can get aftermarket, and you can get it for the XR too. But we're not talking about the XR, we're talking about that DR. You can get the aftermarket parts for it, and you can put you can put an adventure tank on it or whatever you want to do, and now you've almost turned that into a KLR range bike, where you can do 200 plus miles, and that's more than you're ever going to want to do on a dirt bike, guys. On a dirt bike, it is tough running those miles, man. But the thing is you got to pick your poison in these bikes. Do you want a bike that is great for the road, and it'll kind of go off-road, or it sort of will go off-road? Or do you want a bike that is off-road, and she'll go on the road? There's no unicorn bike. It doesn't exist. I don't care what anyone says. It just doesn't exist. So, the DR 650, good travel. They're not too expensive. You can pick them up usually on either Craigslist, or you can get them on Cycle Trader, or, you know, you can pick them up. They're out there. They're not crazy expensive. You can get lots of parts for it. They're easy maintenance, easy to work on. And all of these bikes I'm talking about are for new riders, and they are for basically experienced riders. And you're going to see them. You're going to see them out there, and you're going to see them blowing down the highway, man. You'll see these guys with their packs on like what we do, and they will just literally pack it up and go, man. They'll do like we do. They'll do 12 to 14 days with, you know, all their gear on the back, and you know, that's what they do. You know, they don't care if they have to get on the highway for 100 miles. And I don't care either. I don't care if I want a full-blown dirt bike. I don't whine about it because I don't care, man. I'm out. I want to do it. Now, number 1 is 2 bikes that's out there. And I know what you're thinking. They're like, 690. Come on, Joe. We know it's the 690 Enduro R. Guess what? You're right. It is. It's a 690 Enduro R. I love this bike, man. It's the king, man. If you want a dirt bike that literally will do road, and here's the deal. This bike does the road better than all of them. All of them. I know, because I've ridden them. And this bike is better, man. You get the right tire for the road, and this bike will hum, and she will purr at 80 miles an hour like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. And make no mistake, you're like, yeah, but no, there's no yeah buts. There's no yeah buts. This bike is far superior than all the 4 bikes I talked about before. It's lighter than all the 4 bikes. And not only that, it's got more power, more controllable power. And I'll tell you what, it's just a whole lot more fun to ride. Now, the one that comes in, and I hear this all the time, and they're very similar, but they are not the same bike. And please, for God's sake, pronounce the name right. It is not Husqvarna with an A. It's Husqvarna. And guess what? It's not a 690 painted white because it's a 701. It's not. They are not the same. They are completely different. If they were the same, you could take a Husqvarna to a KTM dealer and they could fix your bike and work on it. My KTM dealer here, KTM North Texas, says if you buy one, don't bring it here because I can do nothing to it. I can't even dyno tune it. So, if that's the case, then maybe that should teach people something. They're not the same bike, and they're not. They're not even built on the exact same frame. They're real close. And a lot of the aftermarket parts, they don't fit. You can't go buy 690 parts, and every one of them is going to sit there and fit on a 701 Husqvarna. You know, it's just not. Now, here's the deal. Husqvarna used to be Husqvarna. It's not. It's owned by KTM. KTM owns that manufacturer. They own them. They are completely different bikes, but they're very similar in what they do. They are high-performance, enduro, powerful dirt bikes that will get on the highway and do their business. Make no mistake, do their business, and they do it well. So I like both bikes, and I've never ridden a 701, but I've heard guys that own 701 saying, I'll tell you what, if you've ridden a 690, you really should drive a 701 because they're different. And you'll see the difference in what it is. And there's things that you're going to love about it, and there's things you're going to hate about it. And it's the exact same thing with guys that own Husqvarnas that you should drive a 690, and you're going to say the same exact thing. But what I can say that's similar about the bikes, they both have right at 70 horsepower. They both have that motocross setup. They've got that 21/18 rear tire. They have great travel from the front to the rear and center travel for being off-road. That's what they're made to do. You can jump these bikes. You can jump them. Go look at the videos. They're out there. You can jump these bikes, and not only that, you can just flat get it, man. You can stomp on these bikes. They are fun. Everybody's like, oh yeah, but the intervals suck on the 690. Guess what? No, they don't. They actually don't. You know, everybody's like, oh, you do valve checks at every 6,000 miles. No, actually you don't. The valve check on this bike is right at 12,000 miles. And guess what? I'm going to do it myself. You know why? Because I can. Am I a mechanic? No. But that's half the fun, guys. You know, learn. And when I do it, guess what? I'm going to make a video about it. So that way, basically, for this channel, as I've been saying, I'm building a community. I want everybody to help everybody. This is for basically new dual sport riders or guys that are thinking about becoming dual sport riders, all the way up to guys that are experienced that can come in and help. I don't know what happened. I don't know why we can't help each other. But the 690, back to this bike, it is just nothing but spectacular. Nothing but spectacular. There's nothing really bad I can say about it. Everybody talks about the turning radius. Oh, it sucks. Well, guess what? You can adjust it. You can adjust it. Who cares? But, I mean, it is so nimble. I mean, you can just literally, it's great in the twisties. It's got tons and tons of power. And it's just so much fun to ride. And not only that, it's cool, man. The girls dig it. Just kidding. I don't really know if they dig it or not. But people do look at this bike. And I've had people walk up to this 690 over 1090s, 1190s, 800 GSAs. I know because I own 800 GSA. And people go, man, what's that thing like? I'm like, you know what this thing's like? This thing is all unadulterated fun is what it is. It is just nothing but fun. So with that being said, the 690, it's not a cheap bike. Neither is a 701. You're going to have to pony up the cash for it. You're going to be sitting, it's going to set you back about 11 grand. If you want to outfit it like mine, it's going to cost you. There's not much you can do about it. So, but you will love it. I promise you, you will love it. This is not a beginner bike. This is not really an intermediate bike. This is definitely a person that's been riding for a little while. But if you want to give it a shot, you can map this bike underneath the seat and you can tame it a little bit. You can bump it down to about 400 cc. It's still got tons of power, but it's still the 690, and what makes her shine is it being on that map setting that makes her run and makes her go good. So those are my top 5. Those are my top 5 dual sport bikes that are really dirt bikes that can get on that highway. They don't weigh a whole lot. They're not gigantic pigs, no 500-pound bike that you can get on the highway. You can go get lost, man. You can get out and go get lost on these things, man, and they're reliable. Don't listen to everybody about, oh yeah, this bike's unreliable. Don't get it. It's this, it's that. It's a very reliable bike. All those bikes are reliable, and they're great. And you can start on any one of them if you want to, and you'll be happy with any of them. Here's the deal. You win on any one of those bikes if you pick one up and you're dual sporting. You totally win. So, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We're growing, and we got lots of cool stuff, and we got stickers, man. Come on. We just started shipping them out. We got guys asking for them. Ask for the stickers. Email us. We'll ship them out. They're free, man. Put them on your bike, because what we're going to have, we're working on it. We're going to have a giveaway for something really cool. We're just trying to find the way to where we can weed out the guys that are just trying to sit there and only pop on and just try to figure something out. Well, that's not what we're doing. Guess what? You're going to need that guy right there. You're going to need a 690 sticker to get in and on this. So, we were going to do it when we hit 1,000 subscribers, but we couldn't find a real legit way to do it. So, we're going to give out those stickers. Ask for your stickers, man. Send us an email. The email's right there on the screen. And get it and stick it somewhere on your bike, man. You don't have to, like, mess your bike up. Put it on a tail or something, or put it wherever, because you're going to need that sticker to win. That's the way it works. You'll need that sticker. My name's Joe, 690 ADV, 690 Garage. I appreciate your time. I really do. Subscribe, thumbs up. We appreciate you, man. 690 out.